Hello everyone and welcome again to Whisky Wednesday. Review number 2 of the Waterford's Bannow Island. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The island that was an island but is no longer an island. And the essence of this barley and this terroir type of whiskey is that the barley itself grows in a very kind of salty, sandy environment. So maybe we might pick some of that up in the flavour profile. Something we kind of regretted to actually mention on the first video was that these don't have corks. They've got like little glass stoppers. So, pours out like that. It's yellow too, so it really kind of counteracts the bottle quite nicely. Forgot to mention that the first one, but there you go. It's quite a nice feature. Along with just the beautiful iridescence on these bottles and the boxes, which just catches the light in this room great. But this is Bannow Island. Now, bear with me. I've got a bit of a cheat sheet here to remind me about the barrel statistics with this thing. So, apologies for this little cheat. But this is 35% first fill bourbon. It's 20% virgin oak. 25% premium French oak. The Ballykilcavan just said French oak, so this has premium French oak. And then this is 20% Oloroso. The Deux Natural in the Ballykilcavan wasn't stated, those fortified wine styles, where it is in this one. It is classed as Oloroso, so we've got some more familiar flavours. In theory, I should like this one more because it's virgin oak, loads of bourbon barrels, Oloroso sherry, and French oak. But we'll see. When I first opened this, there were things in it which I couldn't quite place, which is always good because you want to be challenged as a whiskey drinker, and even with something that is only 3 years and 7 months old, which is how old the Bannow Island is, compared to the 3 years and 11 months of the Ballykilcavan, which was really sweet and lovely and juicy, whereas this one had some things in it where I thought, give it some time, hopefully it will open. But again, it's 50%, it's natural colour, it's natural filtered. All those wonderful barrel statistics, we'll go over them again. So 35% first fill bourbon, 20% virgin oak, 25% premium French oak, and then 20% Oloroso sherry. Yeah, those are the facts and the figures. Let's dive in and see what's going on. Now, it might just be the use of terms like terroir and my brain thinking, oh, wine and champagne. But there is an almost champagne-like quality to the smell of this. There's an acidity. Obviously, it's not carbonated, but there's like a fresh acidity. It's lemon. It's very cutting. It's very welcoming. And amazingly, considering that there's virgin oak and first fill bourbon in it, it isn't one of these. As much as I love those flavours, it's not a cliche, loads of vanilla, loads of caramel. There's almost none of that. What it is like a little walk through like cinnamon and nutmeg, some beautiful kind of macey, Christmassy spices. Bits of raisin, and there's like a peppering of those beautiful Oloroso notes of like Christmas cake and raisin and sultana. So considering 55% of this product comes from American influence, there's not that much of it on the nose. You know, there's no butteriness, there's no typical caramel, there's no butterscotch, there's no vanilla, there's not a lot of tropical fruit, it's more just citrus fruits. Clean and fresh. A little bit like a pencil shaving note, one of the more unusual ones we've come out with. But yeah, champagne, lemon, pencil shavings, and sherry. It's a hell of a nose. Let's taste it and see where it's all at. Texturally, this is significantly thicker than the Ballykilcavan. You can literally feel the weight in it, almost like it weighs your tongue down. We've said that about a whiskey in the past in one of these reviews. And I'll try and remember which one it is and put it in like the description below, because it's very similar to that. It just really kind of puts a weight on you. The bourbon influences make themselves much more known now. Texturally, it's heavier, as we've said, and you get that butteriness, that slickness. Yeah, it's almost like someone's taken the flavour profile of custard, thick, lovely, warming, comfortable, loads of vanilla. That's where the vanilla's really coming through. The creaminess of butterscotch. Those bourbon influences are really making themselves known now. And then the finish kind of brings you all back around in a full circle to that fresh acidity. Lemon, there's like a basil note in there as well. Slightly green, slightly herby. There's not as much of a youthful impression as there was on the Ballykilcavan, which is odd given that this one is a couple of months younger, but has significantly more powerful influences of cask, so maybe that virgin oak is kind of wiping out the influence of the spirit. It's not as peppery on the finish. Clean, light, and now I'm getting like, you know, kind of apples and pastry. Maybe the paper was right, maybe I do like this one a little bit more. One more taste, because there are still a few things which I just can't quite place. You know, when we first opened them, this was like, I love this one. This is fantastic. The Ballykilcavan is the one. As time's gone on, I am pulling more towards this one. They're both great. For young whiskies, they're incredibly flavoured. But yeah, I'm leaning more towards this one. However, that doesn't change its score. They're both going to get a 7.5. They're both wonderfully flavoured. I do like the flavour profile more on this one. And it is astonishing to have such complex, subtle flavours from such a young whiskey, especially at the ABV of 50% alcohol, with no chill filtration. And as good as this is, and as clean and as summery and as beautiful as the flavours are, it's still not blowing me away. It's very good, but it's not what I call life-changing. If you have them and you've opened them, by all means, compare and contrast. But it's a great start, and there's been a release before these two, and there's even more coming out now. So they're going to be releasing loads and loads of stuff, which is fantastic. But I think this is a wonderful start to the future of this distillery. And we've seen loads of new distilleries pop up. Eden Mill, Kings Barnes, Daff Mill, Ardner Merkin, loads of them. And it's great for us because all the whiskies we tend to love, we weren't there at the birth of those distilleries or even the rebirths when they reopened. Well, some of us would have been. I'd have definitely been alive, I don't know why I said that. But to see something grow and have this youthful product with such good flavour already, Lord knows what the time has got in store for Waterford. I look forward to it nonetheless. But this is the Bannow Island. It's a 7.5 out of 10. Thank you all very much for watching. Hopefully you have your own opinions on these. And I'm still very interested to know what your thoughts on the whole terroir argument are in the comments section. Will you taste these different barley types post-fermentation, distillation, barrel aging in a very invasive process, which is whiskey distillation? Or like the wine industry, are you going to taste the nuanced differences very clearly? I'm still on the fence a bit myself. I like the idea of it. I like the open nature of it. And Lord knows Mark did this with Bruichladdich, and they're still releasing Islay barley and Scottish barley releases of everything. But I don't know if you can taste it. On a chemical level it'll be there, but I don't know if it's fully tasting yet. But I'll need to try more to fully experience. But nonetheless, I'd be really intrigued to know what you all think in the comments. But thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week. And yeah, cheers.